In this video, I'm going to explore how to get timecode inexpensively into the Tascam Portacapture X8. The thing about the Tascam X8 is that it doesn't play nicely with other timecode devices. What you got to do is spend out on the Atomos X8 or whatever it is, and the Atomos Blue, and you need a Bluetooth dongle for the Tascam. This can be a bit painful because in order to set up this kind of timecode, first of all, I think if you don't already own these devices, between the two of them, I think this is going to be something within the region of $300, and this will be in the region of maybe $150 or so. And the Bluetooth's quite inexpensive, about $20 or so. I'll have them linked in the description below so you can look them up on Amazon or whatever. That's the expensive option, but I'm going to show you how you can set timecode using either the Deity TC1 system or, again, the Rode Wireless Pro. The Deity TC1 system comes in a set where you get 3 of these, or you can buy individual ones as well. I happen to have 4 of these. I bought one set of 3 plus an additional one. So let's now get into configuring the Tascam X8 to work with the Deity timecode system. What I'm going to do in this instance, just like my previous timecode video, is I'm going to set the Wireless Pro as being the master timecode, mainly because you cannot jam, i.e. you cannot set the timecode on this from an external device. The timecode on the Wireless Pro is configured in the Rode app, and you can choose either free run, which basically starts running from 0 when you turn it on, or you can use a time-based timecode. I'm going with the time-based timecode. So right now, yep, it's after midnight. It's 12 minutes after midnight and 33 seconds, 34 seconds, etc. So first of all, I'm going to use this to jam the TC1. So let's switch on the TC1 first. So I'm going to press the power button on the right hand side and it comes on, and I'm going to then rotate using the button on the side. So I'm going to rotate over to master. I'm going to press once and set it to auto jam by clicking on the top right hand side. Then I go over to the furthest part on the menu where it says, in this instance it's going to say L out, but the choices could be L in for line in, L out for line out, or audio out. For the purposes of what we're doing here, you do not want audio out. We're going to be working between the L in and L out. L in for line in is what we're going to use first of all, because what we want to do is jam this from the Rode. So using Sennheiser's audio cable, a standard TRS, I'll have a link for that below as well. We're going to jam it. So here we go. And you can see it's changed. It's now at 1358. So that is the Deity jammed. I'm now going to change the line in to line out. So at the moment this port is set to receive timecode in order to set the Deity, but now we want to turn this Deity into a master, so it sends out timecode to other devices. So first of all, I'm going to click here and choose L out. So now it's sending timecode out, and I'm also going to set auto to master run. So now this Deity is the master. What you're going to need to get is a Rode VXLR Plus connector. I'll have a link below to make it easy to find. I recommend either the Rode VXLR Plus or the Rode VXLR Pro. They have more features. I don't want to overcomplicate things now, but the bottom line is that the Rode VXLR Plus or Pro allows you to connect all different kinds of microphones, i.e. powered or unpowered microphones. So for example, the Rode NTG, for example, is a battery powered microphone, but which doesn't necessarily need any input power, such as the power that a camera will give it. But you also get the simpler Rode microphone and the Deity microphone, which require power given to it by a camera, whatever. And if you don't connect it, if you don't give it power, it won't work. This allows you to actually have power, because what it will do is within either the Tascam or any other audio recorder, you can send high power into it, i.e. 48 volts, and it will convert it down to 4 volts so it can work with your microphone. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect our XLR connectors into the Tascam X8. So basically, as I said, you have something like a $300 to $400 investment if you go with the Atomos Timecode systems, or if you've already got the Deity system, you just have to spend $30 or $40 on the Rode VXLR Plus. So I'm going to talk you through connecting Timecode into the various inputs on the Tascam Portacapture X8. The Portacapture X8 has 4 XLR inputs. I've got my shotgun mic connected into input number 3. So this is input number 3 here, and this is input number 6, and this is input number 5. We're going to connect the Rode transmitter into one input. You only need one. I'm just demonstrating that both of these work. When we hit record on this, there's going to be 3 tracks active. The track for the shotgun microphone, the track for timecode from the Deity, and the track for timecode from the Rode Wireless Pro transmitter. The trick you will see when we start editing is that every audio file is going to be the same length, and that's part of the trick as to how we get this timecode in, but you'll see me edit that in DaVinci Resolve to show you the hack. Let's get timecode going into the Tascam. I've got a Sony NPF battery powering the Tascam. It takes AA batteries. Main reason is I'm paranoid about forgetting and leaving the batteries in the Tascam or in flashes or whatever. So I generally try to power them externally so I don't accidentally leave batteries in. So let's power this on. And we are in the menu now. So in this instance, in the launcher menu, I'm going to just press manual. And so now what we've got here is I've got inputs 5, 6 and 3 active. Because I'm using a Sennheiser shotgun microphone, it requires phantom power. So let's go to the input area, and if I click on number 3, which is what we want, above it you'll see a symbol of a microphone. So I'm going to press on that and I'm going to give it phantom power. Am I sure? Yes. So I click that, and now as I talk you can see that it's responding to my speech. So right now the Tascam is aware, I haven't yet pressed record, but it's aware of my speech signal, shall we say, on the recorder. So I then press back. Inputs 5 and 6 are handling my input 5 is the Deity and input 6 is the Wireless Pro. Now again, just to be clear, I only actually need one of these, but what I want to do is demonstrate to you that both of these will actually work to provide you with timecode. So let's just look at the settings that I've set up for each one. So if we look at the Deity TC1, if I press on the microphone button, we go into the settings. So I've chosen line input. I'm on the low input gain and it's at about 18.5 decibels. The important thing is timecode is very picky. Remember, in both of these instances, it's LTC timecode that's going out. So you can choose LTC timecode, which is option 5 on the Rode app, and LTC timecode, which is a line out or whatever it was on the Deity. You can set that in the Deity. So they're both putting in pure timecode as opposed to timecode mixed with audio. It's pure timecode that's coming out of both of these devices. So you can see here that the signal strength from the Deity, we have it about halfway up. It's when you try this, you may have to experiment a little bit, because you may have to experiment with your settings and see what works best. But if you try it and it doesn't work, it's a settings adjustment you need. It does actually work. So for the Deity TC1, this is the setup that you can see. So let's go back, and now we're going to have a look at the setup for the Rode Wireless Pro. Again, You don't press the number. If I press the number, I've switched off the input. So you want, for an input to be live, you need it to be read. Press on the microphone signal above it, above, in this instance, above the 6. And we can see again, I've set the input gain to low, but I've adjusted. You can actually adjust your sensitivity by just sliding along this grey bar here. So I'm just going to keep it down about halfway. I don't want it distorting. So that's the setting. We've got timecode going into all of these devices. And now I'm going to press record. So I'm going to press the home button. So you can see the signal on both timecodes looks roughly the same, -7 decibel, -8 decibel. And as I speak here, on option 3, on input 3, it's -20 decibel. Also note, the interesting thing about the Tascam Portacapture X8 is it's a 32-bit recorder. All the recorders I bought in the recent year or two have been 32-bit recorders. I'm not necessarily recommending that you buy the Tascam. I would actually recommend the F6, the Zoom F6 over this. But if you have the Tascam, this is a good way of getting timecode into it. The reason I say the Zoom F6 is it's simple to put timecode into it, and it's got its own internal timecode clock, so it's less expensive to get timecode. This, however, is a more portable recorder because you've got the microphones here as well, so it depends on what your use case is. So let's hit record. So now it's recording, and we've got, I should really, I suppose I've had it recording all along. So now we have timecode going into the Tascam Portacapture X8 from the Deity and from the Wireless Pro. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the record on this, and we'll go over to DaVinci Resolve and pull these files in, and I'll take you through the process to get this, to extract the timecode from the audio. So now I've loaded the files onto the computer, and I'm going to extract timecode from the Tascam X8 recording. So to make things simpler, number 5 was the Deity. So I'm just going to rename this to Deity TC1. And I'm going to rename channel 6 to the Rode Wireless Pro. So let's just do that, just to keep things simple. So as I've said before, I'm only doing the Rode and the TC1 just to demonstrate that they both work with the Tascam X8. So if you're using the Rode, you're probably recording audio onto your actual transmitter, because you can record it locally on the transmitter, and you can use the receiver to send timecode into the Tascam if that's your setup. Otherwise, if you happen to have Deities, go with the Deities. Okay, so this is going to be the Rode Wireless Pro. So if I now go to the media area of DaVinci Resolve and I refresh, we've got Deity TC1, we've got Rode Wireless Pro, and we have the actual audio from our Sennheiser shotgun mic. Now, if you look at all 3 of these audio files, you'll notice that they have the same amount of frames, and that is the trick as to how we're going to set the timecode. The thing about this is I'm going a little bit meta here, because I'm actually demonstrating integrating the Tascam X8 in the same video file that I'm editing this video for. First of all, I'm just going to get the timecode for the top-down camera. Again, I'm doing it the lazy way, because what I've done is I've just shown the timecode to the camera, even though I could have embedded timecode in it, but this was just quicker for me. So let's just move a few frames. 16, 15, 18. Let's see if I can get something. Let's go back a bit more where I've got an exact change. Okay, 16, 15, 19. I'll go with that. So right click, clip attributes, timecode, current frame. is 00161519. 00161519. Okay, so that's the time code loaded in the top down, and on the talking head one, I will just scroll to where I showed the time code. Oops, there we go. So on this frame, it's clip attributes 00154408. Okay, so that's the talking head of the top-down camera done. The reason I've done that is I just want some kind of a reference for where the movie started. There's an interesting oddity with this, because if we look at the time code we got from Deity, time code on all of these I've set to the 24-hour clock, but interestingly Deity takes midnight, I guess after midnight, as being 00 hours, but for some reason Rode seems to take midnight as being 24 hours. So we just need to make an adjustment to that. So to do that, I'm just going to make sure the audio for that is at the beginning of the file, that the playhead is at the beginning of the file. And now I'm just going to edit the time code to fix that. So if I go to current frame, and instead of where it says 24, I'm just going to do 00, and then that brings it into line, because everything else is the same, i.e. 7 minutes, 8 seconds, 11 frames. That doesn't change. So now that's the Rode Wireless Go time code, Rode Wireless Pro time code, brought back onto the same basis as everything else. Simple to do. So if I go to the edit page and I drag in the Deity time code, and I just drag it down here, so that's the Deity audio file. You see, the issue is that with DaVinci Resolve, it won't extract time code from an audio file only. It's got to be a movie file. So the hack is that I turn the audio file into a movie file, and I do that simply by clicking on Effects and choosing Titles and then Text, and then drag the text into the movie area, and I just click on it and just put in a title here, fake movie for Deity timecode, or whatever, Kermit the Frog, whatever you want to type in there. And then I'm just going to go to the deliver page, and I've got custom export selected, but the element you need to be aware of is, if we look at the video settings, I've set it to QuickTime H.264, set it to the same frame rate as your project. That's very important to make sure it's on the same frame rate as your project. So my project's around 25 frames per second, so I make sure that the video is on that. And for the audio, AAC codec works, constant bit rate. I've set it to 320 kilobits a second and a sample rate of 48,000. So if I add that to the render queue, the other thing is on the output track, I choose timeline track. It doesn't always default to that, but I choose timeline track. Add to render queue, and we render it. So, sorry, yeah, it's going to be called Movie Audio 5. I'm going to call this, make sure it's called Movie Audio, and it's going to be Deity TC1, D-E-I-T-Y, TC1, Deity TC1. I'm going to remove the previous one from the render queue, add that to the render queue, Deity TC1, render all. And so now that's creating a movie file for the Deity. Okay, so that's done. So now I need to put in the, let me just click here, let me go back to the edit page. I've done the Deity TC1, so now let's get the Rode Wireless Pro. And remember, this is just the Rode Wireless Pro timecode. It's not the Rode Wireless Pro audio. I've used the timecode to set from the Rode Wireless Pro to send it into the Tascam X8 in order that the Sennheiser shotgun mic would have timecode. Okay, so now I've got the Rode Wireless Pro timecode. Go to deliver, and I'll just remove that one. Everything else should be the same. I'm just going to change the file name. Rode Wireless Pro timecode, and I'm going to add it to the render queue and render. 80% there, 5 seconds remaining. Okay, done. So if I go back now to the media tab, and I'm going to refresh this folder, and our fake and our two fake timecode movies will appear. Rode Wireless Pro timecode and Deity TC1. So I'm going to pull both these files down. Now that we've turned this audio file into a movie, let's see if we can extract the timecode. So if I go right click, audio sync, update timecode from audio track. And now we have the timecode. And the same with the Deity TC1. Right click, audio sync, update timecode from audio track. So what we've done now is we've managed to extract the timecode that we embedded into track 5 and track 6 of the Tascam X8. Now, when we recorded on the Tascam X8, we decided to record on track 3, track 5 and track 6. So when you press record on the Tascam, all tracks start recording. What I can do to make things simple now is I can remove these two tracks, because these tracks here are just timecode. So for example, if I play this and if I play this, so they're just the timecode tracks. So I can get rid of both of those now because we no longer have any need for them. And in addition to that, in a moment I can get rid of these other two tracks. But what I can say, and what we do know now, is given that the Sennheiser track, which doesn't have any timecode in it, is the exact same length as the other two tracks, the timecode at the beginning is going to be the same. So if I right click and do clip attributes and I go to timecode, I know that 0027 4319 is the timecode for the first frame of that audio. So if I go OK, we now, as you can see, the timecode is the same on all these tracks. So what I can now do is from the project, I can delete the two movies that I made because I no longer need them. And now we're down to just the relevant files, all time-coded. I'm just going to create a new timeline and I'm going to call it Tascam X8 Sync and create. So if I go to Tascam X8 Sync, right click, go to timelines, set the starting time code. I can set the starting time code to be 0652. So 000652 and create it. If we go to the edit page, clear everything off this timeline, insert selected clips of timeline using timecode. I'm going to delete out all the audio tracks that were with that because I don't need them. And I'm going to create a new track up top, top down camera. In fact, I'm going to put the person on top, insert selected clips to timeline using timecode. There's that. So we'll put our Sennheiser audio in now. And there it is. And we can see it's synced. So I can just demonstrate it for you now. On this, and we'll go over to, so you see the audio from the Tascam. This is just to make things clear. X8 Sennheiser HEISER shotgun. This track here is the Sennheiser shotgun mic. I only did a tiny recording with it, but you can see it's synced. So now, if we put in the Rode wireless that I recorded on the lavalier that was there, that is here. Insert selected clips to timeline using timecode, and there you go. Everything is synced, but that's the Tascam working just fine.